So now that we're a few days into Chapter 2 Remix, I want to share some of my rough early opinions on this experience as a whole. But first and foremost, let's get this clear and out of the way. The live event was extremely disappointing. Now most of the time when I don't enjoy something inside of this game, I can still understand maybe what they are going for. However, in this case, I think it's a little different. I'm not exactly sure who Epic Games were trying to appeal to with this style of an event, but one look at Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube tells you all that you need to know about the event. But with that disclaimer aside, as for the season itself, I can't lie to you guys, I'm having a ton of fun. I was and I still am a bit skeptical of this whole idea of OG seasons, but Epic has managed to blind my skepticism by flashing my favorite chapter of all time in my face. So first, let's go through the basics of a season, and I'll give you my overall thoughts on the category. And starting out with the map is basically exactly what both you and I expected. All of your staples of early Chapter 2 are here, with POIs like Holly Hedges, Retail Row, Pleasant Park, Lazy Lake, Steamy Stacks, and you get the point. Of course, we also have a new version of the agency in the middle of the map, with the Dog Pound, and honestly, I really like it. Now, if you are a massive fan of the original agency, I can get if it makes you a little upset, but for me, it's a fun twist on a point of interest that we've already seen. And as for the Shark and the Grotto, both of these will make their return to the map in the coming weeks, with the Grotto being overtaken by M&M and the Shark being overtaken by Ice Spice. Overall, Chapter 2 is by far my favorite map, so I'm enjoying playing on this masterpiece of an island while we still have it. The Battle Pass is another area that I see a lot of dispute in, and for me, I really like it. I love the One Ball skin and the Chaos Director, and the rest of the skins all range from good to really good. Though I will admit, with OG Chapter 1, it was very clear that each skin was heavily inspired by various aspects of two different skins. And with this pass, it feels like they did that with Meowdis, but the rest of them seemingly were only based off of one skin alone, like One Ball. I don't think it's better than the OG Chapter 1 pass, and I definitely think the pass could have benefited from including one of the rappers like Snoop Dogg as Tier 100. But even with my nitpicks about the mashups aside, I still love every single skin inside of this battle pass, and I think the pass gets the job done. And of course we have to talk about the loot pool, and the loot pool is pretty much the same situation as the map, as we already kinda knew what we were gonna get. You have your base weapons like the Scar, the Tack, the Pump, and other base weapons from Chapter 2. Now they did spice up a few items like the upcoming M&M minigun and the Snoop Dogg Boogie Bomb, but other than that, it's just your standard run-of-the-mill Chapter 2 loot pool. I am excited to see what Epic does with Unvault, similar to Chapter 1 OG, but I'm really not going to get my hopes up past some of the early Chapter 2 mythics. This category is the one that's being most affected by the decision of only having the first 3 seasons of Chapter 2, as the later seasons of Chapter 2 is really where the loot pool got crazy. Weapons like the Exotics, the Railgun, the Chimera Ray Gun, and others were all extremely wacky and fun to use. But they won't be coming to the season presumably, given that they came in the later seasons of Chapter 2. We also have the Marvel mythics that'll be missing, and regardless how you felt about Nexus War as a season, it would have been awesome to experience all of those old Marvel powers in the season, even if it was only for a few days. Overall, you can probably tell that I'm kinda split on this whole experience at the moment. It certainly feels way more close to home for me than Chapter 1 OG did, but there's an extremely strong chance that I only feel this way because I think Chapter 2 was peak Fortnite. Of course, if you throw me back into this time period that I loved, I'll still love it, but I have to be 100% transparent with you guys and say that something feels off. I honestly just feel like Chapter 1 OG felt somewhat organic, or at the least, more organic than this does. Yes, we were thrown into Chapter 1 out of nowhere, but they kinda tried to explain our reasoning of going back to the island with Cato Thorn and time travel, even if it was executed a little poor. Flash here to Chapter 2 Remix, and I was dealing with Mephisto and all the Halloween horrors on the map, and then I go to my favorite live event of all time featuring Ice Spice, and boom, I'm back to my favorite chapter of all time with my favorite map and my favorite weapons. But even with the storyline explanations aside, it just feels like Epic wanted to replicate OG again, and they felt like they needed a gimmick this time around. Now, I know a lot of people will bring up that Chapter 1 OG was just a copy and paste of stuff we've already experienced, and I agree, and that's why I don't think Fortnite should have done the same thing for Chapter 2 Remix. I truly felt like this season would have felt more natural and would have been better if we went the route of Remix, but made the whole chapter combined into one season. Just imagine the chaos of this early version of the map, with Season 2's mythics, maybe some mythics from Marvel, and the crazy items from later in the chapter like UFOs. We could have even seen a repeat of the map being flooded or the return of the last reality. This way it isn't a copy and paste of something we've already experienced, and also feels like a celebration of the chapter. So yes, I am having fun, and I really like the season, so please don't think I'm hating on it. But I have to be honest with you all and say that this time around it feels a little odd, and I truly think there were better ways to go about the season. But those are just my early thoughts on this season so far. But be sure you let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. But until next time guys, as always, take care and stay twisty.